There's one person missing from this roundtable, and I can't imagine why the ambassador of Ghana would rather spend time with his president than be here with us. But I mean, go figure. But if he were here, Ambassador, what would he be talking about in terms of working with y'all? Because I know Ghana is a real special case for the Millennium Challenge Corporation.
It's one of our showcase countries. We have a compact of over $500 million with Ghana. It's in its second year of implementation, successful implementation. I, in fact, have been with the ambassador and President Kufuor for the last couple of days here in Washington to review that program. They are very happy with the success that it's had. Of course, as with all of our programs, we would like to do more faster. There's always that dilemma, particularly with us because of country ownership, where we put the burden of implementation on the country and not on us. By the way, we don't have any RCDs in our countries that have swimming pools, and we only have 2 of them in each country. So we don't send out a force from the United States to implement these programs. We rely upon the countries themselves to do it. In Ghana, we have a program which generally follows the themes of most of our countries. It has agriculture and transportation components, as well as a few other things. But in general, those are the type of projects that countries come up with us. And the Ghanaian project is a good one. Again, speaking to President Kufuor, our countries rely often on having outstanding leadership in terms of the presidency or the prime minister. And Ghana, certainly in this particular case, has very good leadership.
I got to tell you something as a story. About 8 or 9 years ago, we got approached about doing something around military quality of life. And a number of U.S. Chamber Business Civic, well, we were called the Center for Corporate Citizenship at that point. And a number of people were like looking at us, military quality of life, what's that about? And we had several generals come and be part of a roundtable like this. And a 2-star general was sitting there and said, you know, I have a $500 million budget in Kentucky, and I've got to figure out how to do the sanitation, the education, and all the rest of it. And 100 companies in the room went, $500 million and this one thing? And people started realizing, oh my God, we could really be working to help spend those dollars a lot more efficiently. I don't think the significance of the fact that you are putting $460 million into Burkina Faso has fully sunk in yet. Or the fact that you were putting in $4 billion in just 4 years into Africa has fully sunk in yet. We have got to do a better signaling of just the capital flows that are really starting to go in there and how those things can be leveraged. But look, as usual, I got into this too much, and we've got a lot of people here who are really expert in a lot of different elements of this, and would love to open it up for for comments. And right here in the middle to start. And please identify yourself and the organization you're with.
My name is Walter Jurasek. I work for the U.S. Department of Transportation. First of all, I'd like to thank you, the panel. I see not only as a panel, but I see you as very enthusiastic leaders and very passionate leaders, which we will have to look more for people like you. But I just want to give a comment and then question. After World War II, the Europe was very, very much in disaster. They bombed all the cities, and the educational system was disaster. So to the generosity of American people and the American government, they installed martial law in Europe. And the martial law showed the results in few years. And all the billions which American people give it to Europe, the city was built, they were built, as well as all infrastructure, education system was built, and then it took 20, 30 years. Since I grew up, there are billions of dollars spent in Africa, South America, and we still talk about today what we can do. My question to ambassadors and as well as the other group, what measurement you take to see your success in reducing poverty in developing countries, and how are you going to do about it?
So metrics, I think. How do you measure success?
How do you measure success? I mean, just a very, very concrete example. We have very specific sectoral focuses. So we say we work on water sanitation, we work on education, we work on agriculture, tourism, and forestry. What we try to do in every country where we work is we try to seek alignment with the national development strategy that the government has, to not go it alone. I mean, that's a theme that has come up earlier. And then for each of the interventions that we do, what we try to do, and I'm not saying that we're always successful, but we're making good progress there, is we try to establish a baseline. Let's say if you work on water and sanitation in a particular region in Tanzania, you can basically see and look around what statistical information is available in terms of how many people have access to potable water at this moment of time, and where do you want to be in 10 years. And in that way you can establish a result chain and basically hold the efforts that you put in jointly with other partners, and over time monitor how you are progressing against the result chain. That is in general the rather simple methodology, with all kinds of statistical challenges, of course, and sometimes the statistical information isn't as good as you want it to be, but you got to work with what you find on the ground. So that is how we go about our result measurement.
On the Millennium Challenge Corporation, a critical part of our compact proposals are in fact the economic rates of returns and population impact studies that we do prior to engaging with the country. And during the implementation process, whether it be an agricultural program or an infrastructure program, we monitor and evaluate how those original economic rates of returns and catchment areas, the number of population that's been intended to be affected by these programs, is in fact developing. We've only been in existence for 4 years. Already our agricultural programs, and it's only natural with an agricultural program, it takes 12 months. You plant the seed, you water it, the sun shines. 12 months later, sometimes earlier, you have a crop. We're already seeing that our predictions with regards to rates of return and population impact, market access, higher prices, greater productivity is already happening. So the results that were part of the original intention of the program are being realized. The infrastructure programs, roads, ports, in some case an airport, will take longer to see how that actually develops. I don't think that the MCC should be looking at their success in a long-term way. Our compacts are 5 years. We will seek to have second compacts with a country, but a badge of success is not to be in a country for 30 years. A badge of success is to get in, to have the capacity in the country develop so that they can take on their own programs, so that they can take responsibility for their own development, so that the private sector can be part of this, so that their own private sector, not just international private sector, can be energized and be constructive in the long-term development of the country, and so that we and organizations like us, government organizations like us, can leave.
See, what I really like about MCC's approach is if they hit their social indicator numbers, you should see GDP growth. Yeah. That's that connection that's really fascinating. Now,